Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to be talking about the contribution of one of the most famous women in our history. Famous, and yet little is known about her life. This is the story of Fatimah Al-Fihri, the founder of the oldest university in the world. Fatimah Al-Fihri was born in Tunisia, in the great city of Qayrawin. She was born there and she started an early Islamic education, memorizing Qur'an, studying hadith, and learning fiqh. When she was 7 years old, her family decided to move to Morocco. This was a time when many people were flocking and moving around as the Islamic world was spreading. From its base in Arabia, Islam had spread into Egypt, and then throughout North Africa, and then into Spain. And it spread eastwards through Khorasan and into India and beyond. Families were moving and migrating, and Fatimah Al-Fihri's family found themselves in the newly built city of Fez. This city was built by a powerful ruler, the Idrisids. And the Idrisi rulers wanted to bring as many people as possible to their new city to help them build it. And Fatimah Al-Fihri, her father, decided to become a merchant during this time. And he was a very successful merchant. He quickly became one of the richest men of Fez. Now Fatimah Al-Fihri, she started her upbringing, and as she grew older, she was ready for marriage. But shortly after her marriage, both her father and her husband pass away. But Fatimah Al-Fihri, despite this loss, decided to put her life in the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After inheriting the riches from her father, the wealth from her father, she decided to give back in charity. And one of the things that she did was she bought a plot of land to build a masjid. Now Fatimah Al-Fihri bought this plot, and she decided to start the construction of this mosque during the month of Ramadan. Now it took 18 years to build this masjid. 18 years. Of course, in those days, they would have done everything with their hands. There were no bulldozers and no cranes, no dump trucks bringing in loads and taking out loads, not like what we have today. But in that time, everything would have been done by hand, including carving the stone and carving the wood, cutting the wood, sawing and nailing together. Every piece would have been done by hand. And so for 18 years, she oversaw and supervised the construction. And during this time as well, she fasted. She fasted every single day until the masjid was completed. And when it was complete, the first thing she does, can you guess? The first thing she does is to go into the masjid and she prays 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ah in thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the type of person she was. A person who was very aware of Allah Azza wa Jal, and one who wanted to please her Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. After 18 long years, the masjid was finally completed. She named the masjid Qayrawin, after her hometown in Tunisia. This masjid, if you've ever visited, is a beautiful masjid. It is in the heart of the city of Fez. Its beautiful white walls can be seen, as well as its unique green tiled roof. If you enter into the masjid, you'll see horseshoe arches, arcaded halls, and white stuccoed walls, all on the side. Outside of the masjid in the courtyard is a fountain, tinkling and sprinkling with water for people to come and make wudu, with beautiful tiles that decorate the walls. There are about 18 doors that lead the person from the streets into the masjid, and these doors are wooden carved doors with intricate geometric designs. Together with the masjid, there is also a library, which is the oldest surviving library in the world. To this day, this library houses more than 4,000 medieval manuscripts. These are manuscripts that were each written by hand, including some of the oldest surviving Qur'ans. Together with the masjid and the library, you have the madrasa and its study hall, where students have filled since the time that it was built. For over 1,000 years, students have come and teachers have taught. Amongst some of the famous graduates of this school are Muhammad Idris, the famous 12th century geographer, one of the first to accurately map Europe and North Africa. Also, Maimonides, the 12th century medieval Jewish philosopher. The 14th century Ibn Haldun, the great historian, as well as Ibn Rushd, the Andalusi jurist and philosopher. Also rumored to have graduated is Gerbert of Aurillac, who later on becomes none other than Pope Sylvester II, the Pope of all of Christian Europe. And he is the first to introduce Arabic numerals to Europe. Before that, they were using Roman numerals, and he is the first one to bring in Arabic numerals and the concept of the zero. So Fatimah Al-Fihri was a champion for education. She was a champion for intellectual achievement, and this shows in her building of this masjid and a university. And she also wanted everyone to learn, including the needy and the poor. And for this, she was often referred to as Banyan, mother of boys. This could be because of the many orphans and needy children that she took care of and gave education to. And she herself would spend many, many hours sitting in lectures, learning and studying in the school that she built, being a wonderful example to all of us of the importance of having a healthy diet of beneficial knowledge. And so we learn from Fatimah Al-Fihri the importance of charity and the importance of taking knowledge. Until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.